The British Army still uses the same officer rank insignia worn during World War I, and every pip and every crown carries a piece of that history in today's wars. You might think military ranks are simple: private, sergeant, colonel, sorted, right? But the British Army structure is a maze of history, tradition and practical battlefield power. Today we're going to pull it all apart, and by the end of this video you'll know exactly how the army really works and why it matters. But here's a question: why does the British Army still use a system dating back over 300 years? Stick around to find out. Welcome back to the war. Let's start at the sharp end, the ranks that hold the army together on the ground. The British Army divides its ranks into non-commissioned officers, or NCOs for short, and commissioned officers. NCOs are the beating heart of the army. They pass down the knowledge, enforce standards, lead in the field. At the very bottom, every soldier starts as a private, which, depending on their regiment, might mean they're called a guardsman, a trooper, a sapper, a gunner, a rifleman or a craftsman. But officially they wear no insignia at all, just their regimental badge. As a soldier gains experience, they can now be promoted to lance corporal. Now you'll spot a single chevron, a downward pointed stripe on their sleeve. They'll be second in command of a section and start taking on small leadership roles, a big step. With another promotion comes the rank of corporal, marked by 2 chevrons. This is where true leadership begins. Corporals command entire sections of 8 to 10 soldiers. Moving further up, we reach sergeant, whose insignia shows 3 chevrons. The sergeant is the heartbeat of the platoon, responsible for training, discipline and making sure the platoon runs smoothly. A great sergeant can hold a platoon together under fire. Above that sits the staff sergeant, or in the infantry regiments, the more prestigious title of colour sergeant. They wear 3 chevrons with a crown above. These leaders handle the logistics, training and discipline at the company level, ensuring that everything runs with military precision. But the pinnacle of NCO leadership lies with the warrant officers. A warrant officer, class 2, wearing a large crown inside a wreath, serves as a company sergeant major, the enforcer of discipline and standards for an entire company. And then there's the warrant officer class 1, the legendary regimental sergeant major, instantly recognisable by the royal coat of arms on their sleeve. A WO1 is the highest non-commissioned rank in the army. They are the living embodiment of regimental pride, discipline and tradition. And here's a remarkable truth: a brand new 22-year-old second lieutenant technically outranks a battle-hardened 45-year-old WO1 with decades of experience. But on the battlefield, everyone knows who really holds the unit together. Have you noticed how the army holds on to these old titles? Sapper, gunner, rifleman. Why do you think these traditions still matter? Let us know in the comments. Now, let's move up the chain of command to the commissioned officers, those who officially hold the King's Commission and are entrusted with leadership over Britain's fighting men and women. Every officer starts out as a second lieutenant, a single Bath Star or pip gleaming on their shoulder. They command a platoon of roughly 30 soldiers and usually rely heavily on their platoon sergeant to survive their first months in command. After a couple of years, a second lieutenant becomes a lieutenant, proudly bearing 2 pips. Now they've earned their spurs and begin to take on more independent responsibilities, still typically leading a platoon or taking key staff roles. Promotion to captain, marked by 3 pips, brings major responsibility. Captains command companies of 100 to 150 soldiers or serve in key tactical positions. They are a trusted core of the Army's leadership. Next up is Major, represented by a single crown on the shoulder. Majors serve as second in command of battalions or lead specialist subunits. They help shape battlefield tactics and manage the vital connection between strategy and execution. A lieutenant colonel, wearing a crown and 1 pip, commands an entire battalion, around 500 to 800 soldiers. They are responsible for everything from operations to welfare to regimental spirit. The success or failure of a battalion rests squarely on the lieutenant colonel's shoulders. Colonels, whose insignia features a crown with 2 pips, typically move out of direct command and into high-level staff positions. They oversee training, doctrine and regimental affairs across large formations. But when we reach Brigadier, the first of the general officers' ranks, the game changes. A brigadier wears a crown with 3 pips and commands a brigade, several thousand soldiers, often deployed on major operations. They coordinate combined arms, warfare across infantry, armour, artillery and air support. Above brigadier, we climb into the rarefied air of the Army's highest command. Major General, cross baton and sword with a star above. Lieutenant General, baton and sword with crown above. And General, baton and sword with a crown and star. And then the Field Marshal, a title now largely ceremonial, with baton, sword surrounded by a wreath and stars under the crown. And here's a surprising fact: officers serve not the government but the crown. This ancient safeguard was designed to ensure the military power ultimately answers to the monarch, not a political party. If you're enjoying our content, don't forget to check out our merch and membership programs. Now, back to the action. Now, let's step into one of the more unique corners of the British Army: honorary ranks. You'll often see figures like King Charles III, Prince William and Princess Catherine listed as colonels in chief or honorary colonels of famous regiments. While these are ceremonial roles, they maintain a vital connection between the army, the royal family and British society, and a royal visit to a regiment can work wonders for morale. Earlier I asked why titles like sapper or gunner endure. The answer is this: tradition binds soldiers to their regiments and their comrades. In life and death world of combat, that sense of belonging can mean the difference between victory and collapse. So, does this system still matter in today's high-tech battlefield? It does, but with a nuance. Modern warfare demands flexibility. NCOs and junior officers collaborate across old lines to handle complex new threats like drones, cyber warfare, hybrid conflict. Yet when chaos erupts, when decisions must be made in seconds, the army still turns to clear command structures and trusted leadership. Did you know the British Army once tried flattening its rank structure in the early 2000s to become more modern? It didn't go well, but that's a story for another video. Comment if you want to see us cover it. Now, you've seen the true story behind the British Army's ranks. A system built not just on hierarchy, but on tradition, trust and earned respect. From privates to generals, From warrant officers to royal colonels, every rank plays a vital role in Britain's fighting power. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love our deep dive into the Royal Engineers, one of the most fascinating units in the British Army. Check it out. Hi soldiers, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to check out our merch and membership programs. And don't forget to check back in again soon. That's an order.